Hey guys, it's Sophie, and today I'm going to show you guys how to make a walnut cake with a delicious yellow cream and a beautiful chocolate glaze. Now, I love cooking and baking, but however, this is my first ever YouTube cooking video. And I chose this recipe because it's just so easy to make, yet it's so good. I mean, if you told someone that you're making a walnut cake with like a cream and like a nice glaze, that sounds just so impressive. However, it was really easy to make. Now, I'm going to be making this cake in a few parts. First, I'm going to make the batter for the cake and bake it. Then I'm going to be making the cream and the glaze, and then I'm going to be constructing the cake. And remember that all of the exact ingredients will be in the description box down below. So without further ado, let's get on to the recipe and the video. To start off this fluffy hazelnut cake, we're just going to set our oven to 360 degrees Fahrenheit or 180 degrees Celsius. Now we're ready to start the batter. To start the batter, you're just going to pour into a big bowl some egg whites. There we go. And then some sugar. Now, to mix this up, I'm going to use an electric mixer, but you can also use a stand mixer. Now we have to mix it up until it forms fluffy peaks. Here we go. Okay, the peaks should have formed. Yes, there we go. So our peaks are ready. Now we won't be needing the mixer anymore, but we will need it later for the cream on the inside. So for now, I'm just going to scoop all of this foam back into the bowl. Okay, so now we are left with this fluffy texture made of egg whites and sugar. So now we're going to grab our flour and I'm just going to add it in right on top. And then I'm going to grab some baking soda and some lemon juice, and I'm just gonna pour the lemon juice in the baking soda to activate it. There we go, it's going to bubble up, and you're just going to pour it right on top of the flour. Like that. We can scoop up any of the baking soda that's left in the cup. And there we go. Now, you want to fold in the flour, the baking soda, and the lemon, but you want to do it very carefully because if you do this very hard, you're going to destroy the beautiful foamy mixture that we have. So you're just going to fold it in very, very carefully. Okay, so I have mixed in all of the flour, the baking soda, and the lemon, and we still have this like foamy texture, so make sure you just do it very lightly. Now, we're making a walnut cake, right? So what is a walnut cake without the walnuts? So we're gonna add in our walnut, and now once again, we're gonna fold them in very carefully. Okay, so I have finished mixing our batter. As you can see, it's very fluffy. Now I'm going to take out my circular baking pan. And I have lined it with some parchment paper so the cake doesn't stick. As well, I've also put some oil on it just as an extra safety measure. Now we're just going to pour in the batter. Okay, now I have put it all in the baking pan. As you can see, it's still very, very fluffy. Well, I'm just going to smooth it out nice and evenly, and we're gonna pop it in the oven for about 50 minutes. Okay, I have just smoothed out the whole cake, and we're gonna put it in the oven. Ooh, that's hot. Hey Google, set a 50-minute timer. Now all we have to do is wait. So as you could see, I got quite bored of waiting for my cake to bake, so I decided why not start on the cream for inside the fluffy walnut cake. The first thing that you're going to need is some butter, and then we are going to mix it up really good with the electric mixer so it's nice and smooth. Now, just like the batter was super easy, it was only like 6 ingredients, the cream is super easy as well. We're going to add the butter. And now we are going to mix it up. I think that is smooth enough. I'm just going to scrape down the sides and our butter is done. Okay guys, so we have changed up angles a little bit so I can show you the rest of the cream. Now I have put a bit of water in a small pot on top of medium heat, and right now it's bubbling, so you have to wait for it to bubble. Now once it has started bubbling, you're just going to grab a glass bowl with some egg yolks in it, and you're just going to put it on top of the pot. Make sure you don't burn yourself. There we go. And now we're just going to dump in our icing sugar or powdered sugar and a packet of vanilla sugar. There we go. And with a whisk, we're going to rigorously whisk this until it is all combined. Okay, so now it is all combined and we can take it off of the heat and let it cool. Okay, make sure to take it out of the water too. And after it has cooled, we're going to add it to our butter. Okay, so now on top of the water that is already sort of boiling and hot on top of medium heat, I'm just going to add on my chocolate. And now I've added on my chocolate, I'm just going to grab a spatula and I'm going to start mixing. And after I start mixing it, I'm just going to add in 2 tablespoons of oil to make sure that it is nice and shiny on top of the cake. Okay, so now the chocolate is all melted and I have turned off the stove, but you can just leave it on the heat to make sure that it is nice and warm for when we have to pour it over the cake. Okay guys, so I just took my cake out of the oven. Here it is. And I put it on a cake board to let it cool. And then once it has cooled, I'm going to use a cake leveler like this to cut it into 3 equal pieces. But of course, if you don't have a cake leveler, you can always just use a knife. Just make sure you get 3 equal pieces. But we have to wait for the cake to cool. So while we wait for the cake to cool, we're just going to finish making the cream. Now the cream is going to be made up of the butter that we creamed and the egg yolk mixture with the icing sugar and the vanilla that we made on the stove. Okay, so I've put all of the egg into the butter and now we're just going to cream them together until we get a nice smooth cream. And here it is. It is nice and well combined and it actually tastes pretty good. Let's see. Yes, it actually tastes really, really good. Okay guys, so I just cut my cake into 3 equal parts and it is nice and cooled and it is ready for me to assemble. So now I'm going to grab my yellow cream and I'm going to take half of it and I'm going to put it on the first layer. Okay, so now it is nice and smooth and we're gonna put the second layer on. And there we go, perfect. Now we're just going to put on the final bits of the cream and spread it all out. Now we just have to put on the final layer. Here we go. Align it, and awesome. There we go, let's pat it down a bit. And that was the cake assembly. Now all we have to do is put on our glaze. Okay guys, so here is the final step to finish off this cake, the beautiful glaze. So we're gonna pour it on top, and then I'm going to spread it around with the spatula. Here we go. And don't worry if it runs down the sides, that's totally okay. And here is the final product. Now I'm going to put it in the fridge overnight, and then tomorrow morning I'll show you guys the final result. Okay guys, so it's the next morning and the cake is finally ready to be tasted. Now remember how this was empty in the beginning? Well, here's the final result. Look how beautiful it looks. Let's give it a taste. Here, I got my knife. Let's cut into it. Okay, let's take it out. Moment of truth. Let's see. Whoa. Look at that. Okay, we're gonna put it on our plate. Let's give it a taste. Let's see. Oh my God. Wow. That tastes so good. I mean, look at the cream, look at the chocolate, look at the walnuts. So good. I hope I inspired you guys to make this walnut cake. And if you like this cooking content, please subscribe to my channel because I'm gonna be posting many more cooking YouTube videos or even like my usual karate stuff. So please subscribe and leave a like on this video and share it too. Bye, see you in the next one.